Hi, I'm your host, Mr. U. Please enjoy this brief perspective specifically for your ears today. A few minutes of your time just might change your mind. We're keeping it all the way short. Lottery tickets, the pitfalls of investing. Now, I know that our podcast is staying atop the business and entrepreneurship charts. We don't talk about this a lot. It was on my heart today to talk about investing. Not because I'm an avid investor or I have a diverse portfolio, but because I've seen some things and heard from some folks in my daily process of networking, talking to people, consulting, things like that. Seen some bad trends go on, so I wanted to use the podcast platform to talk about it a little bit. But in my daily travels, I have to speak to potential partners and clients about commerce, financial stability, goal setting, stuff like that. If I have the good fortune to have a thoughtful conversation, I usually ask a person, young or old, what they're doing outside of their full-time careers or what would they like to do in that sphere. Almost every person to a man says the same thing. They aspire to do real estate or investing. It's pretty much the mantra of the masses at this point. It's very popular. But why is that? Some of you say it's because it produces dividends or it produces quick results. Well, that some of you that say that will be wrong. I'm not saying sound investing in stocks and bonds and real estate and things like that aren't successful. What I am saying is that somebody is making money from these, so they may be effective in some kind of way, but what makes them effective for you? And not just a scratch off that you get 3 in a row and get a few $100. What makes this less of a gamble for you and more of a calculated risk instead? Some may strongly recommend that the difference is a strong and competent financial advisor. I only have one question about that. If you're interviewing somebody to serve in that capacity for you, are they financially free and working for sheer enjoyment? Or do they have to work and they can't maintain their lifestyles unless they have a client like you? If they're advising you that doing something that they haven't yet to do themselves, which is be financially free or financially stable, that advisor may not be the best play for you. Not all advisors are equal. I understand that. Just a question to ask. Is somebody going to invest time in helping you in that regard? One of the things, a commonality that I've seen in these discussions that I have daily is people answer that way normally aren't educated. Don't mean they're dumb. It just means that they haven't been educated in certain things that they want to invest in. They don't know how to research the companies they want to buy stocks with. If only it was as simple as turning on Bloomberg or CNBC. It's not that simple. If you have to study a company, which you should, you have to look at their financial statements, management structure, core values and beliefs. You don't find that always in a quick Google search. Mission statements, and everything or anything that will tell you if you should spend your money here. Most of the respondents don't want to do that much work. I've heard this and seen this myself. They don't want to watch the company stock every single day. They'd rather have the lottery ticket, the scratch off. If you were investing in relationships, for example, wouldn't you think to do some research on the person that you're considering hanging out with for a long period of time? Is a dating site profile or Twitter byline the only research you're going to do? Or that you're willing to do? That answer might tell you the value of the investment you're considering when it comes to relationships. This is very similar to that. In our society, everything seems to be geared towards get rich quick. Give it to me fast. Give it to me not now, but right now. Investing requires a long-term vision. You can often avoid brokerage fees, improve your chances at compounding interest, greater earnings over the life of the investment, and less stress, less anxiety. Because you're not approaching it like, okay, if I mess up this month, if this month doesn't do well, if I fail, I can't pay the light bill. See, we like free, don't we? Most people love free. It's the cheese in the mousetrap that works every single time. Free tips about investing is usually a bad idea, especially coming from certain sources. Take your emotions out of this. If you're investing or considering doing that, that's what you're inclined to do, take your emotions out of it. Take your feelings out of this. It's not an emotional business. It's not an emotional step or approach. Don't think you're going to get rich in a year or even 5 years. It may take much longer than that for you to start seeing dividends and results. Don't invest haphazardly. Have an exit strategy. Not for relationships, that's different. But don't have an exit strategy for your investments. I'm sure you can find some real sound investment advice out here somewhere, better than what I'm telling you right now, I'm sure. You have to pay for it probably, but I probably gave more advice than I actually wanted to do. But my goal was to share that regardless of that, whether you're investing in real estate, stocks, or even relationships. A few quick tips, man. Take your time, number one. Have an exit strategy in place, not for relationships and not for marriages, of course. I'm talking about investing, real estate, stocks, things of that nature. Don't take unnecessary risk. Have reasonable expectations. Don't expect to meet the goal if time is warranted in a certain amount of time. Have a timeline, but don't get bent out of shape if it doesn't happen in the time frame you had. Be reasonable about it. Put a timeline on the goal, obviously. A wish without a timeline is just a wish. It's just a hope. It's not actually a goal. Write it in pencil and not in pen. Check your motivations. Do you want to get rich quick to buy stuff? Or are you willing to grow yourself while you're growing your portfolio? Investing in any realm isn't a lottery ticket or a scratch off or a day playing the slots. Real investments cost you sometimes more than you can gain from it and what you put into it. We're keeping it all the way short. Coach out.